life and learner success. And again, this is brought to you by Top Virtual Staffing Solutions. And that's one of our key values, learn. So hopefully you guys will continue to grow with us and innovate with us with these sessions regarding life and learner success. If you could please, we would appreciate a follow or connecting with us on social media. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us or text, call, or fax at 866-887-7821. Again, that's 866-TVSS-VA1. For our first session, we are going to discuss why this is free, why this is provided free. And we want you guys to be donating to a nonprofit organization. And we'll be discussing what successful intelligence is and discuss lifelong learning, especially the acronym of CAP, which we will discuss a little bit more what CAP stands for. And then we will always highlight for every session the importance of critical thinking, scientific thinking, having a growth mindset, and using willpower to make the necessary changes for us to become better individuals. I will not be discussing this as much here because I have already done this with our video on what is critical thinking in relation to strength through stress. And that is session 6 right there. So if you could just search this sentence or phrase right here on YouTube, what is critical thinking? TVSS strength through stress. So you would learn a little bit more what critical thinking is, scientific thinking, having a growth mindset, and willpower. All right, so implicit consent, we are obviously recording this. We are going to go ahead and make this publish. We are going to publish this. So if you do join us live in the future, you are agreeing with these conditions and you are holding us not liable with Top Virtual Staffing Solutions and AAA Physical Therapy. Okay. Disclaimer, so everything that's discussed here is only for informational purposes only, and it's not prescriptive, so just take it with a grain of salt if you may, all right? And all the best with your learning. Some ground rules, if you do join us, of course, we pay attention to giving and receiving respect. Feel free to go ahead and participate or interact verbally, chat, or email. Confidentiality, it may be a little bit challenging with this live session, but you can go ahead and change your name, or you don't have to be in the video. You can feel free to go ahead and join us. I'll discuss a little bit about my background. So I have psychology for my bachelor's, counseling for my master's or graduate degree. And I completed it with a high distinction. And then I have post-secondary and adult education, wherein I am a dissertation away from completing that. So I've been teaching for 2 decades for various community colleges, international universities, on an online university. So here I am at our AAA physical therapy practice. I am one of the owners there that have worked there. And right now I am concentrating on TVSS or Top Virtual Staffing Solutions. So that's my background. What is TVSS? Let's focus on that a little bit further. We are a remote staffing agency. And the reason why we hold these sessions because we can go ahead and provide tutoring. And this is Miko right here on the early days of learning keyboard. Miko, do you want to talk a little bit more about this? You're on mute. You're on mute.
Am I on mute?
You're good now.
Okay, sure. I was starting to learn sync in the end. Starting, and then by the look of that picture, I think I was trying to copy down notes of G major scale or D major scale or something to do with piano.
All right.
I'm not going to get into the specifics.
And what's a band that you were learning regarding this song?
Linkin Park.
Linkin Park. And right now, what's I think you're learning a new song right now.
Numb.
Numb. All right, sounds good.
I think they're from the same band. Same album, but
No, I don't think it's from the same album. I don't think so. But the same band, definitely.
yeah.
Yes. All right.
Oh, I think Numb was in Living Things.
No, it's
Or
Meteora.
Yeah.
Numb is from Meteora, and then in the end is on Hybrid Theory, I believe, in terms of the albums. All right, that's your Linkin Park FYI for today. So yes, we are able to serve you from a tutoring perspective, and if you want to go ahead and learn anything or everything out there, you can go ahead and find that right person for you. So why free? There are so many people doing good and heroic things out there, from the medical professionals to essential workers. So we just applaud you guys. And then we're doing this mostly for Miko. As Miko is evolving as a human being, hopefully I can be a positive impact for him. And with whatever that I have done for college tutoring or college classes that I have taught, I'm just engaging him as early as now with whatever he could go ahead and learn. And here, Miko, speaking of tutoring, do you want to talk about this? You're in mute.
Sure.
Got it.
That was a very long time ago. I didn't have as if you can't see on the screen, on the left side of the picture, it has folders. I renamed a lot of all of this stuff, and this was a long time ago. I can barely remember that.
What are you learning, generally speaking, with your tutor here?
HTML, and I think we were starting CSS.
CSS as well, yes. And then right now, what are some of the stuff that you're learning currently?
Myself, well, HTML, HTML DOM, CSS, and JavaScript. But I'm also educating myself with W3 Schools. It's a programming website where you can learn. I'm doing Bootstrap and Bootstrap. I kind of forgot what the other one was.
Okay, that's fine. So you're learning a little bit more programming or coding, if you may.
Yes.
And you have a tutor helping you out here.
Yes.
And guess what, guys? He's the one. Miko is the one now tutoring me how to do these things. So isn't that cool?
I gave you a cheat sheet.
So if you want to go ahead and learn coding, learn how to play the keyboard, you're in college, you're in high school, you're in elementary, whatever you want to go ahead and learn, we will find a tutor for you. Okay? So the reason why free, because I know we need to continue to be physically distant, and I know as of this moment, we are currently opening things up, just like in our physical therapy practice. We are seeing patients, and we are following the local guidelines all the way to CDC and World Health Organization's guidelines, and we'll see what the changes will be in the future. But we need to maintain physical distance, being physically distant, but still socially connected. And as I mentioned earlier, regarding non-profit organizations. So for today's session, we want to highlight NAACP.org. So please provide your support with them, or the local chapters that they have. So please be involved, and let's just make this world a better place if you could. Okay? And since I will highlight a nonprofit organization for each program that we will do, because we're doing this 7 p.m. on Sundays, we will highlight one nonprofit organization. And if you want to contribute equally, please go to our GoFundMe page, and we would appreciate your support. A portion of that will also go to Miko's College Fund, and for us to be able to continue these free services here. Okay? And also we have virtual town hall sessions, and here we have Attorney Nyberg, wherein we discuss immigration during COVID-19. So if you want to learn more about other things that we do here at Top Virtual Staffing Solutions, just search us on the YouTube channel and again, our social media channels. So why free? We want to focus on you. So if you have questions or if there's anything specific that you want to address or be addressed, feel free to reach out to me and contact me at that phone number out there. So on that note, Miko, do you have any questions for me? Nope. Okay. I know you're on mute, but I can see your non-verbal cue. We're good. All right. So again, everyone, we appreciate you guys participating or watching this. And I'm glad Miko said yes to this. Initially, he was saying no, but I explained to him the objective of this course or this program, and he understood it, and he thinks it's valuable for him as he continues to grow. Right, Miko? That's still a thumb up? Yes? Okay. All right. Wonderful. So as I mentioned earlier, on Strength Through Stress, Session 6, we discussed critical thinking. And I have discussed this extensively. And for every session, we are going to go back here because we want to go ahead and make sure that everything is clear. Something is, whatever it is that we're learning here is relevant to you, that it's significant, that it follows a certain thought process, that we dive a little bit deeper. And when we have these intellectual standards, we practice these intellectual standards, then they're applied to elements of reasoning. And with elements of reasoning, we have different perspective or point of view. What are the implications? What inferences that we can come up with? What questions do you want to ask? And then whatever assumptions that you may have. So, and with elements of reasoning, you try to develop intellectual traits regarding gaining courage, intellectual perseverance, and intellectual autonomy, intellectual humility, that you do not know everything, and so on and so forth. So if you want to know more about this diagram regarding critical thinking, which we will be discussing every session, please again search the video on Strength Through Stress regarding what is critical thinking. All right, so let's move on now. What is successful intelligence? Is to have the ability to succeed in life. And that's the question I asked Miko. Miko, do you want to learn more on how to be successful with almost anything and everything that you will do? Because initially he was saying no. And I asked him this question and he said, sure. So this is the main question. Now, with everything that you're going to learn here, is it going to be 100% guaranteed that you're going to be successful in everything that you're going to have? Of course not. But at least you give yourself a chance, the ability to have a higher chance to be successful and succeed in life. And again, Miko, I'm super appreciative that you saw that perspective. And as we proceed with this, that you will find this helpful and beneficial for you as you grow and evolve. So what is successful intelligence? We focus on results. How you want to accomplish your personal goals, academic goals, career goals. So we all have goals in life, but how do we get there? How do we achieve the results that we're looking for? So I'll go back to Miko's, the question that I had for him, because initially he didn't want to do it. When I asked him, do you want to learn more how to be as successful as possible? And he said yes. Then okay, now let's go through this. So in terms of successful intelligence, let's focus on results based on how you accomplish these respective goals. What is successful intelligence? Based on internal and external resources. What do I mean by that, and why is this the picture that I have chosen? So internal resources, what are your skills? What are your aptitude? What are your interests? What are you good at? What can you continue to improve? These are your internal resources, but we cannot do things on our own all the time. We need support from other people. And that's where external resources will go ahead and come in. So just like the lady here, she's sitting down, but she can't sit down without the gentleman serving as a chair for this meantime. Okay? And again, laughing with one another, having that support with one another, it's going to be helpful. So that is part of successful intelligence, based on both internal and external resources. Next is based on opportunities that's available out there. What can you unlock regarding technology? So what are the opportunities out there that you can find, that you can prepare for, that you can develop yourself in order to unlock that opportunity for you to make that work? So with what is successful intelligence, find ways on how you are able to capitalize on these opportunities. Any questions so far? Are you good, Miko? I know you're typing notes. You're good?
Can you go your talking level like last time?
Okay, gotcha. I will slow down a little bit. Yes, thank you. I was thinking about it, but I'm not sure where you are. But are there any questions from previous slides?
No.
No? You are fine so far? You were able to catch on?
Yes.
Okay, lovely. All right, great. So now let's move on to the 3 types of intelligence processes. We just discussed critical thinking earlier a little bit, and that's A for analytical. How are you able to analyze information? How are you able to analyze realities? How are you able to analyze events? So that this is one big part of a process for us to continue to develop our intelligence regarding this. And this is why I focus on critical thinking, especially for that session, for that strength through stress, and how we can continue with these. So if you want to learn more of each of these bullets here, I would highly suggest that you watch that so that we will all continue to get better analytically. The next one is being practical. And the reason why I chose this picture, and this is the P part, okay? The reason why I chose this picture is because everything is connected. Everything are moving another thing in one shape or form. And you would see here there's science, there's media, there's technology, and so on and so forth. So whatever it is that you are learning in your daily life, in your academic life, in your work life, you use that intelligence process for you to continue to get better. So that's the practical side of this intelligence process. Now let's move on to C. Oh, where did that go? Which is creativity. Oh, I think I moved the slide later. Let's hold on. I think I messed up the slide process here. Where did that go? I had a creative slide here. Did I delete it? Okay. So the C1 is the creative side. I don't know what happened. I'm missing that slide. But C is for creativity. And that is another intelligence process out there. How can you be creative with the problems that we all face? Because it's easy if all of our problems is just 1 + 1 is 2. But as you guys can imagine, as we go through life, it's not as easy as that. Whatever we can simplify, that's great. But life is colorful. Life is creative. So let us be creative with life. So that is the C side of things. And again, apologies. For some reason, I don't understand. I may have accidentally deleted that slide and we don't have it here. So CAP, C for creative, A for analytical, and then P for practical. Any questions there, Miko? You're good? Okay.
Hang on.
All right. Speaking of practical, I missed to plug in my laptop. Oh well.
Okay.
Good. All right, lovely. Okay, now I'll be asking you questions for this regarding personal responsibility as we move on to another topic now. I want you to rate them from 0 to 10. You don't have to use your notes that you send us. You can just write down on your own. It's totally up to you. Okay? If you're willing to share your responses after, because remember, this is recorded, then that's fine. If not, then you can just keep it on your own. I will respect your privacy there. Okay? So the next few items, you will rate yourself totally false as being 0, totally true as being 10. And I want you to answer truthfully. I don't want you to answer because I'm watching or I'm listening. I don't want you to answer because somebody else is going to watch this video. I want you to go ahead and answer and think for yourself what exactly is the truth for you. And there are no right or wrong answers. So this is not 1 + 1 or like the math problem that you had earlier, 30 times 1 and 5/10, and I was telling you it's 91.
91.
Okay? So there are no correct or erroneous answers here, but it could lead to some perspective for you to think about. Okay? So don't answer it because I'm here, or don't answer it because this is recorded. So, all right? Okay. Any questions there? None? Okay. All right. So here, the first item, I want you to think and answer if this is totally false or totally true and identify a number, a value. I control how successful I will be. Do you think that's 0, totally false, or somewhere in the middle like a 5? Or 10, you know what? That's totally true. So you can choose to answer out loud, or you just identify it on your own. But you need to write things down because speaking of math, we will be adding these values that you have assigned for each item.
I would have to say I'm going with 6 and 3600ths.
Okay. Well, I understand the decimal points and I understand you're learning fractions, but let's focus on whole numbers right now, just to simplify things.
6.
You're going to say 6, that you believe for you to become successful, you're in control, and it's at 6, that it's roughly true. Right?
Yes.
Make sure you write down because, again, we're going to do math here, okay? That you recorded. And if you're willing to publish this publicly, then maybe you can put it on the chat here. So we're good with that. All right. Let's move on to the second item. Not being successful are due to out of my control, that it is not your control. That is why you are not successful. You cannot control it. 0 totally false, or 10 totally true, or somewhere in the middle. And I'll open up your chat here. So number 1 is 6. What is number 2 for you? Regarding your failures, you fail because it's out of your control. For example, you're not able to do schoolwork because it's beyond your control. You're not able to play your keyboard because it's out of your control. Where would you rate yourself here? 0 totally false, 10 totally true. Are you going to chat it or are you going to
4.
play it?
4.
Okay. 4? All right. Do you want to chat it? So we have the numbers here right in front of us. Okay, number 2, 4. And then I'll ask you a little bit more if to discuss why you scored it as such. But I do not want to do the analysis right now. And if you have questions or clarifications, just ask me, okay? All right, let's move on. I commit to positive actions for solutions to a problem. Are you working on actions that are solutions to whatever problem that you have or to whatever problem that you face? Again, 0 is totally false, 10 is totally true. How would you rate yourself there? Is that an 8?
8.
Okay, then go ahead and type it there. All right, lovely. Let's move on to the 4th item. I continuously make poor choices which hinder me to get what I want in life. You want something in your life, but you always make poor choices, so you end up not getting what you want. Is that totally false or totally true? That you continuously make poor choices or bad choices?
3.
3? Okay. Do you want to write it down? Type it down? Type it. All right. Wonderful. Let's move on to the next item. I am the cause of the results that I get or receive. So it's cause and effect. I am the results. What I do are the results. What my choices are the results. 0 totally false, 5 somewhere in the middle, 10 totally true.
8.
8, okay. Punch it in. Awesome. Number 6. The results are based on outside sources. Whatever results that you receive, it's because of outside, of anything else aside from you. Whenever results that you get, good or bad, it's because of outside stuff. 0 totally false, 5 somewhere in the middle, 10 totally true. What is your score?
4.
4? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Feel free to type it in. Let's move on to the next item. I make wise choices to attain what I want. There's something that I want, and I make the smart choice, or a wise choice, in order to get what I want. 0 totally false, 5 in the middle, 10 totally true.
7.
7, okay. Type it in. Excuse me. Okay. And I have the last item here. I blame everyone or everything else for my problems. It's everybody's fault or everything is a mess.
1.
1 close to totally false, 10 totally true. So that's a 1 for you.
Or no, that's going to be 2.
2? Okay, it's up to you. What you believe is true for yourself. That's fine. All right, vote for you to punch it in. Okay. Before we interpret the results, excuse me. Before we interpret the results, is there any item here that you want to clarify or explain why you scored number 5 as an 8 or why you scored number 8 as a 2? Is there anything here that you just want to discuss or explain a little bit more? Why you rated it as such?
No, I don't.
None?
No, none.
Okay. All right. Well, I know it's the beginning, but hopefully in the future, when I ask these questions, you can process it with me, if that's fine with you, okay? All right. So you got those numbers. Here's what you need to do. What's the total score of the odd numbers? Type it in. So you add them up, the values that you have placed for each item for the odd numbers. 10. What do you mean by 10? What's the value of number 1?
Oh, I thought you meant my score.
I'm sorry, I'm not following. What's the value that you have for number 1? Because that's an odd number, right?
Yes.
Okay, what's the value that you place there?
I thought you meant my score.
The score of what?
My score, my 0 to 10.
Yes. But let's just simplify. Your chat here, number 1, what's the score that you placed on number 1 for item 1?
6.
6. So that's a value. For number 3, because that's an odd number, what's the value there that you placed?
8.
So 6 plus 8 is?
14.
Okay, can you do the rest for the odd numbers? Okay. Then you add 40. What would that value be? 69. Okay. Now, subtract the total score of even numbers. So add the values that you have assigned for the even numbers. What's the total score of the even numbers that you have here? 13. So what you do next is you subtract that. 69 minus 13 is what? 56. Okay. Your score did not fall under 0 to 39. Your score is between 40 and 63. All right? And then if you scored 64 to 80, this is what it means, generally speaking. So you're in the middle. So what this is saying is that with the values that you have identified, where you scored 56, your choices, the choices that you make, will sometimes keep you on course in attaining your goals.
Okay.
All right? So this is in regard to personal responsibility. Okay? So again, there are no right or wrong answers. This is just a matter of a perspective of where you are coming from. So if you want to go back to this slide, again, try to go ahead and think. Why did you score number 2 as a 4? Why did you score number 7 as a 7? And so on and so forth. So is there, because for example, for me, I'll go ahead and identify for number 1. I will choose number 9. I control how successful I will be. I have control over my effort. I have control with the time that I put in. I control all of that. Some parts that I do not control are, for example, genetics. If, for example, my goal is to become pregnant, that's going to be difficult because I'm a guy. That's beyond my control. If I go ahead and say, I want to play in the NBA, well, my genetics is what my genetics are. I am not 6'7". That's beyond my control. That's why I'm not going to score it as a 10 as a totally true, because I know there are certain aspects of my life that is beyond my control, and I accept it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. So hopefully with that example of mine, with that thought process right there, will help you. Let's look at an even number. So let's say, for example, I blame everyone or everything else regarding my problems. I would possibly score this as a 3. You scored it as a 2. I'm going to score it as a 3 because, actually, you know what? Thinking a little bit more about it, I will score it just like you, too. Because my problems are my problems. But at the same time, if somebody hits my car right now, it's sparked. Well, why do I have this problem now? I mean, if I park wrong or erroneously or anything to that effect, then I can't blame somebody else. But if my car is hit and I'm not doing anything and it's parked properly, then yeah, of course, I'll be blaming somebody else because now I have a problem. But for the most part, whatever problems I have, I need to solve them myself. I have to take care of them myself. Does that make sense on how I'm processing it?
Yes.
Is there anything here that you want to share or highlight?
No.
No? Okay. So we will do these things in the future that you will be answering from your perspective, and I will be sharing it from my perspective as well. Here, if you score 0 to 39, it's based on your responsibility. The responsibility that you make is based on the choices that you make, the choices that you do, that you act upon. And that will either lead you on course to meet your goals or you're going to totally miss it. So if you would focus on the odd numbers here, ideally you're closer to 10. Because I control how successful I will be. I commit to positive actions for solutions to a problem. Initially, you said, no, I don't want to learn these things, how to be successful in life. But then I asked you that question. You chose to be in this class. And now you have committed to be in this class. Then hopefully, as we continue through this, it will help you find the solutions to whatever problems that you may have. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And with whatever goals that you have in your life, learn keyboard, learn programming, complete your schoolwork, it's based on the choices that you make. And these are the positive actions that you commit to whatever situation that you're in. And if you focus on number 5 here, you are the cause of the results. And you scored it as 8. That's close to number 10. That is great. How about number 7? I make wise choices to attain what I want. And that's all of us. Hopefully, we're always making smart choices. But sometimes we will make mistakes because we're human beings. So yeah, I would have scored this around number 7. I would score it 8 or 9. Because sometimes I am not informed well enough to make smart choices. Or the information that I get is wrong. Okay? So, yeah. So the higher the score, meaning, and that's why you subtracted the even numbers, because it's phrased opposite. It's closer to 0. The closer to 0, the better. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So thank you for sharing these things. So, personal responsibility. At the end of the day, you are responsible to the results that you get based on the knowledge that you have, based on how you know yourself, the decisions that we all make. And with the decisions that we make, we act on it. And with any obligations that we have, we meet them. So here we are committing 7 p.m. Sundays, Eastern Time, to discuss, to improve our chances to be as successful in life as much as possible. And you have committed to this. I'm committing to it because you are committed to it. And hopefully, we will be able to continue this. And with that, I appreciate you for that. Make sense?
Yes.
Any questions?
No.
No? All right, lovely. So let's review. CAP. What does CAP stand for again?
Creative, analytics, and practical.
Lovely. So we try to harness our creativity. We want to be able to analyze things to the best of our abilities and become practical. So, going back to these questions right here, we try to analyze what we do on a daily basis. And this is a practical thing because you scored these based on how you think, you act and behave, how you make your choices. So we analyze it, we become practical about it. These are practical things, again, that's happening on a daily basis. And then let's be creative in order to receive the highest possible score so that we will usually meet our goals the best way possible. Okay? So that's what CAP is. And again, we discuss personal responsibility. Now, this is where lifelong learning will come in. I'll share things, and then next session we'll review this, and then hopefully you get to share more about on your end. So we are responsible to develop and build knowledge and skills, continuously improve lives and careers. That's what lifelong learning is about. Regardless of your age, we should be continuously learning, and we're responsible for that. So we develop our knowledge, we develop our skills. We build our knowledge, we build our skills. And hopefully we continue to improve and get better. And with that, I want to highlight growth mindset. And that's what it is, having a growth mindset that you continuously learn. And if you want to learn more what a growth of, or having a growth mindset is, again, please watch the Strength Through Stress sessions wherein we discussed critical thinking. So, being creative, let's learn from mistakes. We face our fears. We connect what we learn. So, I'll go ahead and share things a little bit right now. So we learn from mistakes, simple things such as charging the laptop. That's important. Because if we run out of juice, all of a sudden this is going to conk out. So we go ahead and make sure we pay attention to such details. We face our fears, whatever we're concerned about. We don't have to face it head on right off the bat, but we gradually build on it. Connect what you learn. Whatever you're learning from this session, for example, you apply it to Strength Through Stress sessions. You apply it to the virtual town hall sessions that we're having, and so on and so forth. So whatever it is, and this is the reason why I chose this background as my slide. You connect, and these are the connections electronically. All right. My fear, I did have some fears regarding technology. But because of Miko, he has inspired me to learn more what technology is, what cloud is, what programming is. Because of him, I'm facing my fears on that. And I am willing to learn a new language. And I'm sure I will make mistakes. And I believe that's one of the videos that you watch, Miko, correct? Regarding debugging?
Yes.
What is debugging again?
It's trying to catch your bug. You're trying to reverse the... You're trying to fix the mistake.
You're fixing a mistake. And here we are. We're
And
debugging life. Go ahead.
And you learn from it not to do it again.
Exactly. And isn't that what it is? We're debugging life.
Yes.
Not only programming. All right. So analytical. How do you learn effectively? Metacognition. Oops, I'm missing an A here. Sorry about that. Metacognition, meaning thinking about thinking. So if we go back to the slide from earlier regarding how you process information, if you go back to the scores that you have. Why did you score yourself as a 4? Why did you score yourself as an 8? You process the information. Why do you think that way? So with one of the items there, I changed it from 3 to 2 after thinking a little bit out loud. So metacognition is about learning about learning. Learning about your thinking. Thinking about thinking. Why are you thinking in such a matter? And you're able to explain it. You analyze it. And if you want to learn more about metacognition, again, please watch the Strength Through Stress session regarding critical thinking. Practical, as we end the CAP review here. Why is this series important to you? Do you see now, or do you understand a little bit further why this could help you to be as successful as possible, Miko? Do you see it? As we discuss things a little bit further?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
Why personal responsibility is a critical component for you to become successful. Why is it that we need to be creative? Why is it that we need to analyze the information that we have? Why do we need to be practical? So you want to learn programming, you do programming, and you debug things. There will be mistakes, and you need to debug them. You're doing it from a programming point of view, and in real life. Okay. So what can you apply right away? So for me, sure, whatever I can be responsible for, I need to be responsible for it. I need to own it. I need to be accountable for it. And I need to find ways on how to get better and improve. So I need to learn and relearn things or unlearn things if there's anything that's not helping me. So what do I need to do to apply right now? That's what it is, lifelong learning. We always learn, we always develop. So again, we want to invite you to these live sessions. Miko, do you want to talk? I'll talk about these. So, Strength Through Stress, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Life and Learner Success, which is right now, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Sundays. They're both on Sundays. We have a workout buddy sessions on Facebook. We hike, we bike, we throw football, we do whatever we can right now, especially in this COVID-19 world. And that's on Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So just search us on Facebook as Top Virtual Staffing Solutions. And then last but not the least, Happy Hour, Video or Scrabble, Fridays, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. So we thank you for joining us. Hopefully we will see you in the future sessions, whether this or virtual town hall sessions or Strength Through Stress. All right. So references, I failed to update this. I need to update this based on the books that I have been using. And for all the images, it's Pixabay. All right. Thank you. Any questions for today's session, Miko? Bless
No,
you.
I don't.
You're good? All right. Thank you. And we will see you next time. You guys be good out there.
Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this video informational and educational. Please share our videos and subscribe to our channel. If not, my dad will not give me dessert.